I think we don't need much introduction. I would ask you to introduce yourself and tell the people who you are, what you do, and later on we can show you all your stuff.
Well, okay, sounds cool. Or do you want me to do it now?
Yeah, right now. Just do it now.
Okay,
You can shill now and then shill later. It's a double shilling. I'm fine with that.
So I am BoomerangTKO. I make YouTube videos just as a bit of a hobby. They're mostly about YouTube. They're just kind of like little video essay commentary things, and people seem to enjoy them, I'd say. And yeah, I'm kind of known for doing stuff about small YouTubers, and that's about it, really. That's what I'd say about it. Yeah.
So before we start, I have to say thank you for once doing the smaller YouTube reviews and featuring me on, because from that video I got so much information, and I told this to Andrew. You are the one guy that looks for the other YouTubers and looks, hey, what can you improve? And like we mentioned that in the episode, it's difficult to get criticism as a small YouTuber, because it's either you completely shit or, oh, it's great, but nothing in between, nothing nuanced.
Well, okay, look, I do want to say something about this firstly, that I think most people think the way that you two do, but I think there's something to be said about how when you're a small YouTuber, you don't get much feedback at all from anything, but like positive or negative. If you get positive, it's like good job or nice work. It's not really like actual constructive positive feedback, right? So sometimes it's good to be told what you're doing right. Like if someone says to you like, oh, I really like this about your video, that is as valuable as me saying, oh, this is shit.
Yeah, I see it. I see the point. Yeah, I think it's more of this kind of, we have like a wall in our minds that basically says you're always shit. And so when we get some constructive criticism that has good and bad sides, it's it's way easier to accept that as actual criticism than when someone says, oh, your sound mixing is great. That will never stick into your minds. Like, yeah, great, I did sound mixing great. Like, even though it's a good comment, your mind is gonna block that comment off because it's like, it doesn't do any, it doesn't do anything with you.
I think it was your channel was a good one to do because it was one with like very clear strengths and clear weaknesses. Like you I think in that episode you were one of the better channels, but there are also channels in that part that were like really, really good.
Yes.
I think that was the strongest episode. So like there was, what was it? I think you were in the one with Touzel and Real Papa Frankie and Zach and Craig Beckett, and all of those guys are people that I respect quite a lot. I mean, I think everyone knows how much I like Touzel, and Zach's just been smashing it recently. And Craig is like, I think I said this in his part, but like anyone who wants to do commentary and doesn't know how to start, I think should just look at his channel as like a good baseline of what to do.
I mean, I'm like a fanboy of Touzel because he's pretty much like Gus Johnson. He's consistently funny. Not a single one of his videos are not unfunny, and that's like maybe sometimes I will just laugh out loud, but sometimes just this got a chuckle out of me, and that's a talent. I haven't seen it. Maybe the boy John, but even the boy John is more like he does a lot of commentary and meta satire, like breaking the fourth wall constantly. Well, the boy John is also another strong one. But being on the same level as those guys, but in the gaming scene, that's like a good thing. I mean, it's like, that's okay.
Well, there's definitely channels in that part that were worse than you. That's all I would say on that one.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was just like it was a difficult thing. Well, it wasn't difficult. It was just a good challenge for me because I think before that I hadn't really done much that was really critical of other people, and to be able to do it in a way that wasn't too disrespectful or negative and trying to do it constructively. You know, I think there was only probably 3 or 4 people that I was probably a bit of a dick to in the whole. That's how I felt anyway. You know,
well, that's the thing that I liked about the whole series. Everyone got a fair chance, even those who just committed their channel and had like 3 videos on it or never uploaded anything. You just reviewed that in a, I don't know, maybe more neutral manner, and that was a little bit of palate cleanser instead of just people making fun of something, you gave everyone a fair chance.
With the channels with no videos, I just felt like, firstly, I said I was going to review everyone, so I'd be kind of lying if I didn't do their channels. But secondly, I just felt like a lot of it gave me a chance to have a bit of like a comedic break from being overly analytical, because there were quite a few where it would have been helpful for the channel I was talking about, but for some people who don't really care, it would have been quite boring. So just kind of like breaking it up a bit. I felt like it broke up the episodes and made it a bit more entertaining.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I enjoyed the whole series. I actually watched the second time through because I had other channels. You criticize every channel, so in other channels, I realized, oh, I did the same thing. Maybe I should change that. After you did the whole thing, for example, I changed all my thumbnails, and I tried to make like a channel aesthetic and so on. So yeah, it was very helpful. But I had to get that out of the way. So, but we actually want to talk about something else. Recently, Nerd City released a video about he called it bigot bots. Like basically, YouTube has an algorithm that goes through all the videos and try to find out stuff that advertisers don't like. And one of the things that advertisers don't like is being connected to some kinds of politics, and one of those is, I don't know, it was homosexuality and that, but it doesn't matter really. It's about the bots itself. I had this feeling that YouTube that the people that are using the systems have no clue what the systems actually do. And let me explain real quick. So I work for IT, and I know a little bit about artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is actually pretty dumb. You have to code it in such a way that it will fit your needs and not the other way around. You cannot let artificial intelligence run wild and expect it to do the correct thing. And I think for a while now, what artificial intelligence on YouTube has been happening is the algorithm or the AI has been looking at videos. Nobody is being controlling what actually should happen with videos being demonetized or not, and nobody cares really, because YouTube is making a huge amount of money, even though people constantly claim that YouTube does not make money, and they don't care. And the only thing they care about is the advertisers, because we are the product, like YouTubers, like us, or like the bigger ones. We are the product, and YouTube is basically the broker for advertisers. That's my whole position on it. Maybe you can deconstruct it, criticize it, add your own stuff to it.
Well, I think you're saying about them not caring. I think they probably don't, but they have said on Twitter that they've seen the video and they're going to try and address some of the issues, which I don't think they will, but we'll see. I think it's difficult. I mean, I think they've made a huge mistake in a number of areas, but it's difficult for them, because if they come out and say about all this bots and stuff, there'll be huge outrage.
Yeah, of course,
huge outrage. And it's not even. I don't like the term bigot bot, right? Because it's kind
just
of
a dumb
insinuates
bot, an idiot bot.
No, it insinuates that there's like malice intent.
Yeah,
it's not malicious. It's actually just incompetent. Because
yes, exactly.
If you look at the list of words that are banned, right, or like can get you demonetized.
Yeah.
And I'll just clarify as well. The words exist kind of more on a spectrum than a confirmed demonetized or not demonetized.
Yeah,
so like it's from like 0 to 100. So like the N word would be like 100 demonetized, and then like hello would be 0 or something, right? A word that can get you demonetized is gay. Yeah. One is below 0.5 is gay lord.
Yes.
Right? So that makes no sense. But then it's also grammatical. So request can get you demonetized. Requested cannot, right?
Yeah.
Same with report, reported, removal, removed, removal, enjoyed. It's some of these things are crazy. Is over 0.5.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's not malicious. That's just how can that happen? And how can saying in your title increase your chances of getting demonetized?
And that's what I meant. AI is pretty stupid. It's actually dumb as fuck. It's dumb as a brick. It does not do anything you want. What you have to do with AI is you have to have a training set, and you have to know what you want at the end. What is happening right now on YouTube is not that. You don't have a set of training videos. with titles and so on. You don't put it through the AI and let it train with those sets. You let it train on the whole site. And the whole site is such a mix that it cannot really make an algorithm do what you want if you just train it on the whole site without even testing what should come out of at the other end. So to train an AI to demonetize something like gay lord but not gay, you would have to have a video that has this title, and you would have to enforce the algorithm to not demonetize this specific word but the other one. And you have to train and test that. And I think oftentimes what happens is it's not even tested. It's just, oh, we have this technology and we're gonna use it. It's like you said, incompetence. And I'm 99.9% sure about it because I worked the several IT projects, and most of the times when something breaks or something is wrong, it's incompetence. Mm-hmm. So I'm 99.9% sure about that it is incompetence.
I just feel like I agree 100%. I feel sorry for the name-based ones.
Yeah.
So like, if your name is Fraser or Gabrielle or Todd, Vivian, Dom, like, just you're more likely to get demonetized.
It's like, what?
Exactly, and I don't know. It's crazy. It's a fantastic video to put forward as well. Like, it's so well put together, and I watched as well. The guy who made the list, YouTube Analyze.
Yeah.
So he has a video on it as well, which was really interesting, talking more about the grammatical issues in all of this, and he's going to be keeping the list updated as well, because these things, this could improve just on its own. Like, you know, it's trying to learn by itself. So I don't know. It's a scary thing.
Yeah, it is kind of stupid because I didn't run too much into YouTube's automated systems because I try to keep everything clean. But I had two run-ins, and the first one was I just got randomly claimed by some Czech company in which I used Thor Ragnarok or some Thor trailer, and I just got claimed by a random Czech Republican company, and I'm like, this doesn't even belong to them. Like, I don't even have the option to report the company. I can't even report the company that is making the fraudulent claim. And like, what the fuck is going on here? Is this the system supposed to work that way? But whatever, that was the first one. And the second one was I used fuck in the title. And I used fuck all out because I don't think fuck is or cunt or anything like that. It's like, I don't think those are like words that you should censor. Just, as long as you're not using it against someone. But I don't know. And that got like a, not a strike, but like a mark. I don't know what the marks means, but I don't think it got suppressed because it still was one of the videos that got the same amount of views as the other ones. So whatever. I don't understand all of this because sometimes I will use words and then I will randomly say I don't know, this could trigger YouTube demonetization, even though I don't have monetization on. And like, what is going on? So like I said, I want to hammer this point home. I really think the people that are developing the technology are very smart people. Like, try to develop a technology that can go through thousands and thousands of hours of videos and figure out if something is good or not. But the people that are using the technology, they might be incompetent.
I think the main thing that I got from the video is that they should be making this list of words public, or have a way to show people how to do it, because so many people depend on YouTube as a job, as their income.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about people being fired without knowledge of it was just it's so true. And it's not fair. And yeah, I don't know the legal ramifications of all this, but if it is illegal, which they seem to be claiming it was, then it needs to be changed.
Well, it is illegal in Germany. I don't know about the other countries, so
I have a clue. But
the thing is also the people talk, oh, we need transparency, we need the list. There is no list. The people that the algorithm.
This guy made a list on his own.
Yeah, but there's no internal list at YouTube because the algorithm is like a black box thing. It's just a piece of technology that makes decision on its own. You do not know what it actually does. You design an algorithm, you let it train with training data, but you do not know the rules. You cannot look into the algorithm and look, oh, did they develop a list? No, you can't. There is no. That's because
impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. There is no list. Like technologically, it's impossible to look at the algorithm and then print out a list because there is none. The algorithm is so complex, not complex, but it's so caved in itself because no one is actually training it or looking over it. That's why it's so difficult to put humans in between the algorithm and what is being decided, because it's technically impossible. Once you write the algorithm and let it train, you cannot know what the algorithm actually does. So that's why when Nerd City says, oh, Susan said this thing like, oh, there is no such list. She's right. There is no such list. But she knows what is being demonetized because other people have been pointing out, and there is probably an analysis team at YouTube that constantly looks at this stuff. But as long as it's making money, nobody really should care. Like Google is certainly not gonna look at this like, are we still making money? Are we making money in the last quarter? Great. Then we're gonna continue doing the same thing.
Well, do you think it's just kind of it's fine how it is then, in terms of
it's not
there's no list per se, but there's a guy who's now created a list that anyone can just go and have a look at and have like a vague idea of what the algorithm's going to do based on his research.
They should hire him. They should just hire him and let him analyze the stuff. Give him more resources. Give him more resources. Put him in the development team at YouTube or Google or whatever it's been developed. Because if for people who don't know, Google and YouTube, they are not that far away. You cannot really distinguish who is working at YouTube or not. It's assumed that 3,000 people are working at YouTube right now, but that's not correct because Google employees can go in and out of YouTube as however they want. So there's no number for how many people work at YouTube. But whatever, they should just hire him and give him all the resources and do whatever, and let him consult the people at tech and do analysis stuff. That would be my position, because there is no other way. But they really don't care because there's enough. As long as there's money, a company will continue to driving in one direction. And except if a CEO has a vision and knows, okay, this could blow up in our face, they're not gonna do anything really. So yeah,
well, it might blow up in their face though. I mean, it makes them look.
Yeah,
I don't think it does, but I think it makes them look very homophobic and.
Of course it does. Like
so that's the kind of thing that can get people very riled up.
Yeah, but
they need to be careful with this.
The other thing is, the most traffic comes from outside of America for YouTube. So actually, even though there's a lot of on the internet, there's a lot of talk about YouTube America, the rest of the world makes way more money. And the thing is, and I think Nerd City mentioned that in the video, those other countries that the traffic comes from, those countries, they are really they really don't like those demographics. So it seems a natural logic that the algorithm would look at that. Oh, those people don't dislike those kinds of videos, so let's just demonetize it. So yeah, if you stop looking it from a American or a Western lens, it makes sense. Oh yeah, those words wouldn't be liked in those countries. So
well, I think they seem to like to demonetize things that are just controversial in general.
Yep, controversial in general. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's like any type of. It really doesn't matter. It could be something like poop. I think like as soon as it sounds or a brand doesn't want to be connected to it, they're gonna demonetize it.
Yeah.
I think exposed was one of the words, and then like exposed, it's not like a word that I would say controversial. But if you look at the brand, yeah, a brand doesn't want to be exposed or be connected to someone that exposes someone. So yeah.
I think it's a difficult topic. I think as well, kind of, but when we say about this being controversial and stuff, some of these terms are so just not that at all.
Yeah.
And like the one that absolutely baffled me, Norfolk. Do you know what Norfolk is?
No, what is it?
Norfolk. it's a county in England, right? It is the most just lovely, nice place. It's so much countryside. Countryside is demonetizable.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Why? There could be an explanation for that. So, what is it? Norfolk?
Yes.
So
don't do this. Don't try and
no. Phonetically, let's assume the algorithm looks at phonetics instead of the grammar. For example, like fish can be spelled the other way around. Let's assume the algorithm doesn't actually look at words, but they look at phonetics. Yeah. If the algorithm would look at phonetics, they would look at this word and then just say, "Oh, that it's fuck in it."
No, it's not. It's spelled FOLK.
FOLK. Okay, then I don't know. I mean, it could be that something similar in another language or even in English sounds and is something that shouldn't be said, but is controversial, and then demonetizes that word, even though it's completely something else. Because if you think about it, not audio. No. They are looking at titles, right? So yeah, it doesn't even make sense. The algorithm should distinguish between what is written and what it means. Yeah, I don't even have an explanation for that. It's just random. It's just random, probably.
Well, they need to sort it out. I hope they have a look at this guy's list. They actually take a hard look at it, and
they won't.
Well, but they must be losing money from doing this.
Nope.
Surely, okay, not enough money, but like if they're demonetizing titles that just have the word like surfing, for example, is another one, right? All surfing content has a high chance of getting demonetized, right? What's the benefit to that?
I don't know.
There's no benefit to that whatsoever. So surely if they'd look at this list and sort it out, they would make money from doing it.
That might be true. Yes,
that would be the incentive. That's why they should do it.
So here's the thing.
Surely.
So here's the thing. I hear often from so many YouTubers, they claim, "Oh, YouTube is not making any money," and Armored Skeptic once said that, and that what triggered me the most, because I've been hearing this for a while, and asked him, "Do you have any evidence for that?" And he sent me a link to an article from 2015, in which was that an insider said that YouTube doesn't make any money, but there is no financial data, there is no financial report, there's nothing. And then I looked into it, right? There is no way to know if YouTube makes money or not. And we do not know how much money YouTube make. My assumption is they make an incredibly amount of money, so much money that they don't really care if one video out of 1 million gets demonetized. And that's my point. Like, they're making so much money, so much. They don't really even care if the word surfing or Dan or David gets demonetized, because they really don't care. There's so much content being uploaded to YouTube constantly that even if half of the videos get demonetized, they will still make a ton of money because of the size of the site. So
when you put it like that, it's seems pretty doomed for all of us.
It's not doomed. It's just like people that are leading the company are incompetent. Mainly, they focus on making money, and they do not care what is the content, because that's the reason for a company existing, making more money. And if you're making more money means you have to demonetize certain demographics, then they will do it.
Yeah,
they will. I'm
sure they don't view it as incompetency. They probably think they're doing a very good job if they're making so much money.
Yes, if the next I like to explain it like that. A company investors are going to look at the company, and you make money, right? You make a ton of money. They're gonna ask, can you make more money next quarter? And they're gonna say, yeah, sure. Then in the next quarter, you make more money. At some point, you reach the limit of money making, right? You cannot make more money. It's physically impossible to make more money than the last quarter. And then let's say you break the physics of the universe and make more money than is even possible. The next quarter, the investors are gonna ask, can you make more money? So,
well, we've already said that they could do, but I get your point.
So yeah, it's not doomed, but it's just like a broken system looking into the long term. When you look at long term, it's a broken system, and you have to find an alternative. And everyone keeps saying, I said that myself in the past. Oh, as soon as a competitor comes around, everyone is gonna jump ship. And I'm like, no one is gonna jump ship because Google is a monopoly now. Even though everyone claims, no, it's not a monopoly. There are alternatives to Google. Yeah, no, not really.
No one uses it.
Yeah. So it's not doom. It's more like we have to act in the system we are in, I assume.
Yeah.
Bow down to the YouTube gods and ask for forgiveness. I'm sorry. I put fuck in the title. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's frustrating though, because YouTube used to be this place where you could just kind of get away with whatever you wanted. Well, not whatever, but you know what I mean. And I think the Wild Wild West kind of feeling to YouTube made it very entertaining. You just got the most random stuff, and I feel like there's almost like there's a little bit of a resonance of that now.
Yeah,
with like I don't know, that kind of whole community of like anything from like Nakey Jakey to even like Mumkey. Like there's all these like really creative out there YouTubers that are popular now because there's just not much else out there really.
I think it's coming back. I mean, if we look at our little community, there are so many creators inside of this little bubble we have that are close to the old ones, close to, I don't know, old Smosh or old school Filthy Frank and so on. So there are still creators. They're just on a way smaller budget and way smaller. They have to do a day job and therefore it can't create it.
I think most of us haven't been going for long enough. I think Touzel being big is only a matter of time, really.
Yeah.
He'll be at 5 digits at some point next year, easily.
He should. I think, and I will say that to every creator, they should all create a Patreon and not rely on YouTube. And I think that's one of the main mistakes big YouTubers did in the past. They big YouTubers, they got big on YouTube. They got big on YouTube, got monetization through networks, but they never diversified. They never got an extra line of money making. And those who did, which was, for example, Philip DeFranco is like a OG YouTuber, he didn't have any problems because he had a second revenue income. Someone like PewDiePie, he struggled at some point, but also he's a multimillionaire, so who cares?
You never know how much money you're even going to make off monetization.
Yeah.
It's completely random. I mean, that Nerd City video, they were talking about the historian channel. He made, what was it, like £1.60 off 100k views? And I'm like, that's how much money my video made on the copyright guy.
Oh, okay.
Recently, it's made the same amount. So his 100k video made the same as my 700 view one.
That's fucked up.
That's ridiculous. And the reason he's getting demonetized is because he's talking about like battles and killing and stuff. My video had battles in it as well. I was talking about battles, wasn't I?
Well,
it's like, but like it's just random. It's completely random. I think YouTube, to be fair, I know from, because my highest CPM video is my Article 13 one by a mile. That one's got absurd CPM. So I know that YouTube seems to love videos about copyright. But it's still just stupid. But it is kind of the reason. I mean, I think I agree that everyone should have a Patreon, but I think also you have to be quite realistic with these things. I think a lot of creators, they set up Patreon and T-shirts and whatnot and think, oh, well, now I can just go full time. It's not that simple.
No.
I mean, I think I've not sold like a million T-shirts, but I've sold a fair few, and like I'm over the moon. And I know creators who have sold more than me and made more money than me, and they're like, oh fuck, man.
Yeah.
God damn. It's like, well,
it is.
I don't know. I think.
I come from a IT and business background, so a lot of this stuff, when I look at OG creators or older creators, I look at their journey and I'm like, you made so many mistakes. Like, if you took one business class, you would have known to do better. Like, people signing contracts without reading it, signing contracts just to get monetization, not asking for better deals, and not getting lawyers involved. And like, what the fuck are you all doing? And that's why like multi-network channels got so big. They just siphed off big creators that were making the money, and got them raw deals and bad deals. Yeah,
I did that back in the day. I've done a contract before
without reading it. Oh my god, no, please.
No, I did read it. I read it.
Okay.
My stepdad, me and him sat down and we read it quite extensively, and we signed it. And to be fair, like, they were so chill. I wasn't going to get monetized any other way. Good. I didn't really make that much money off of it. And then when I wanted to leave, they just said, "Yeah, sure."
Okay. So, yeah, that's a good.
Easy. It was Curse. I don't know if you know Curse.
Curse, yeah. They seem, I only heard good things about them. But yeah, like, if you look at the journey they had, and when you look at the videos, because I'm interested in also the economics of the whole thing, and like, yeah, there's a lot of the OG creators did a lot of mistakes, like mistakes that could be avoided by having basic knowledge about economics, like the basics of basic. But I guess they were young and needed the money, you know.
Well, I think most people know these days that the networks aren't good, and I think also that's just life, isn't it? I mean, not everyone knows everything, and if you make mistakes, you learn from them. That's
of course
what you gotta do.
But what I meant is, like, then they had a hard time getting away from that, and once they got away from that, they didn't know how to continue. And I think I stopped. It's once I called my subscription thingy, because I had like over 1,000 people I was subscribed to. So there are a lot of creators that didn't just fall off the face of the earth, because after their network shut down or whatever, after they got away, they didn't know how to do it on their own, because even though we demonize networks, they did provide a little bit of service. So
yeah, well, I did a video quite recently on a guy called Swift Karate Chop, and he claimed that his first network had like the ability to influence the algorithm. So when he was he would get just promoted more or whatever. And when he was on the network, he got in the recommendations and in home pages and stuff. And as soon as he left, that just stopped happening entirely. And I don't know. I mean, to be honest, in my opinion, he probably had like some kind of upload assistant who was probably tagging things better or something. But I don't know. You never know with these things.
Was that guy that just is not on the channel anymore, but has an actual own company?
He's like on it very, very rarely. He has like his mates just use it now.
Yeah, because I want to check out the channel. I watched one video and like, that's not my kind of stuff. But your video was like, oh yeah, that also makes it. Wasn't it Ray William Johnson that sold his channel and now it's 2 children on it? Like,
oh no, that was Fred. I think that was Fred. Wasn't it?
Okay, Fred. Yeah. Because
Fred. Ray William Johnson, I think Ray William Johnson left his channel, but he's come back now. He owns it. It's just called Ray now.
Okay.
But he have a look.
The idea is,
sorry, am I allowed to do this?
Yeah, you're allowed to. The idea is, once a YouTuber lifetime is over, right? Like, let's say PewDiePie in like, I don't know, 5 years has enough of video making. He's artistically drained. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And he said, well, what do I do with my channel? So I'm not going to close it down. It has like billion, like he has 100 million subscribers. It's not going to shut down. So what he's going to do with the channel? Just going to let it die? If I was PewDiePie, I would sell it. Right?
So, I mean, if he's a smart businessman, he probably would do, but he might want to keep it just for sentimental reasons. Or,
well, yeah,
sure. He might just want to use it like part-time.
Or part-time, yeah, sure. But
I mean, you look at a lot of creators and you think they could probably go on to bigger and better things. Yeah. I'm not sure what PewDiePie could do after YouTube.
I don't know.
What job would he do? He'd probably be like a good announcer or something.
I watch PewDiePie. What is PewDiePie? Like, what is his identity on YouTube? Because I cannot figure out. Once he was a Let's Player, then he was like real-time sketch or IRL sketch guy, then random videos, then vlogs here, then like there is no consistency at all, and I cannot point.
Well, that's not true. There is consistency, but he changes every couple of years maybe. I don't know. I feel like in the most recent times, obviously he did a lot of Minecraft stuff, but with his meme reviews and fucking Lawai and all that stuff. I think he's just like a reaction channel, really. People call him commentary, but I don't think he's commentary at all. I think he's just a reaction channel because he just reacts to memes on his Reddit, doesn't he? He reacts to the news, I guess. So I mean, it could be like I was about to say he's definitely not a news channel. No way. But he's just PewDiePie, isn't he?
Just
I mean,
PewDiePie.
I think
I think
that's something you have to be. I think that's something people overvalue a little bit is identity and categorizing, being able to categorize your own channel. I think it's important for like niching and growth and stuff, but being unique is huge for growth, because if you're just like doing the same as everyone else just so you can grow and be niched, people aren't really going to invest in you properly. People aren't going to care.
We might disagree on this one because from what I've got, from what I experience, you can't be unique because everything you thought of, it's probably been done. Because, for example, one of the things I experienced with my channels, I thought, hey, nobody actually goes to indie developers and does a little interview with the review, and I didn't find. At first I didn't find those things. But those things exist. There is like III Gaming that I know of, and another one was, I forgot his name, Table 23. Those guys, they do interviews with indie devs, not in conjunction with review, but they do indie dev reviews, so interviews. So I think it's almost impossible to do unique content because there's someone that already thought about it and already did it, and sometimes you just do it better.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard. It's harder to be unique and to grow, but if you can do it, you're going to stick around for a hell of a lot longer. And I think I know I've already talked about him a lot, but the main reason I think Touzel's going to do well because he's actually his niche is super smart. He's a personality disguised as a reviewer, and reviewing stuff on YouTube is so common. But it's not like if you watch his videos, like it is about what he talks about, but really, it's just like a Touzel show. It's a show about Touzel where he talks about random stuff. It's like if you go to a comedy show, do you say, oh, the show was about the comedian, or do you say, oh, the show was about what the comedian was talking about? No, it's a comedy show, isn't it? It's about the comedian.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about Touzel. Every video is about Touzel, in my opinion.
Yeah, kind of. I think the topic might draw people that are not in the bubble, but the people that are already in the bubble, I come back to Touzel because I want to watch Touzel do Touzel stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I'm saying it's so smart, and why I think he's going to be very successful is because his niche, how he's designed his videos, can pull people in who don't know who Touzel is.
Yeah.
They'll come for an Onion review and they'll stay for a Touzel video.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think that's smart, and that's how you got to do it. You got to you have got to niche in a way that's almost popular, but like you've got to find a way to do it in a very unique manner.
Then I'm doing the exact opposite. I'm looking for the most niche, most indie, most unknown game I could ever find. And
this is the other way around. I mean, it's just strategy and stuff. I mean, I don't think there's any right or wrong way of doing things. I just think you've got to have a very set plan and understand the pros and cons of it. I mean, for you, doing indie stuff, I don't know, is there like really big, huge, famous indie people?
Yes. I mean, if you think about someone like Toby Fox or the guy that did The Witness, they're set for life. I think Undertale sold more than like 500,000 copies.
Well, no, I just mean like, is there anyone on YouTube doing something similar to you that is like super famous?
Super indie? Not on PC, more like indie, like Switch, like connected to the Nintendo brand, yes. But itself, no. There is no one like that.
Well, for you, like, it's a difficult one, but there's kind of two things I think you need to keep in mind. I think firstly, you've got to like, if there's other consoles that are doing well in indie YouTube kind of area, you've got to like try and find a way to like bounce that content into your own.
Yeah.
So like finding like topics that make sense both for your channel and for theirs, maybe. That sounds like a demographic that would enjoy your type of stuff. Even if it's not, if they're not PC people, they still probably would enjoy it. So I think secondly as well. Oh, sorry, gone.
So here's what I did, because I know what you're mentioning is what I exactly. What you mentioned before, you have to find a niche that is appealing to a lot of people, but at the same time appealing to a smaller amount of people. What I did is I diversified my content that is a little bit broader. I have the podcasts that are drawing people that maybe are not interested in the gaming stuff only, but also in other stuff like YouTube in general or smaller creators and so on and so forth. But also have another series called Early Access Investigation, in which I look at early access titles. And there's a counterpart to me. Kiko is called Early Access Control. He's fairly successful on YouTube, and also does the same stuff, and it's like more investigative stuff. And that could be appealing to people that are not even interested in those games. And I have the third series, which is like just me picking on a topic. One topic was exactly that, like YouTube not making money, and I go down the evidence, or not the non-existence evidence of stuff. So I'm trying to do exactly what you did, and I started doing that when you mentioned that in your video, because one of the critiques I think was that you like the compilation of games, and what was it, compilation of games? Yeah, like the compilation of games, and the one video about how I see games in dimensions, or how I see media in dimensions, like book for one dimension. So yeah, I'm trying that. But like I said, in another podcast, you don't need Borderlands 3 review 1001. I'm going exactly against that thing. But I mentioned also it's gonna be very difficult because people don't like to watch stuff they don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, that makes perfect sense there, doesn't it? But it's difficult, man. I think I liked the compilation one, whatever it was, because it felt very unique, and it felt like it was a smart thing as well, because all of the games, because it was like indie developer, it was like multiple titles by an indie developer, right? Wasn't it? So it was like if someone liked one of those games, they might go and watch that video, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So then it's like you've got multiple video games in one video, so that's like multiple pulls.
Yep.
And it might not work out that way. It might get like under 50 views, but you only need like a couple videos to pop off, and then all of a sudden you're doing fine, and you've got a big catalog of videos, or like a decent sized catalog of videos now. So that's the important part of what you're doing right now, is kind of when you do have some big pop off videos, people have got a lot of content to go through, and people won't normally subscribe for one video. They'll normally subscribe for like the fourth or fifth video that they've seen that they really enjoyed by you, and that's what gets them invested. That's what makes them come back for more. I mean, I think that's kind of something that my channel has struggled with slightly, is that I had most of my subscribers did come from one channel.
Oh, okay.
From one video, sorry.
From which video?
That I had a Filthy Frank clone one that did.
Oh, that was such a good video. I want to watch it again because later I checked all the 50 Frank clones, or whatever they are called. They want to call themselves, and they're also entertaining to a certain extent. But I just don't. I just like the OG better. Like there's nothing that can make the OG.
No, yeah, I don't think anyone. Well, I think most people would argue Joji's was infinitely better. I just think that doesn't stop it from being entertaining.
Yeah.
The clones being entertaining, I think.
So yeah, but saying you got a lot of traffic from the Joji, from the 50 Frank video, and then
yeah, most people subscribed from that video. I probably got like 200 people subscribed from other videos. I mean, that was kind of like as in like at that time, I probably had I got about 1,000 subscribers from the Filthy Frank video. But at that very time, there were other people going on to other videos from that one, and watching my other videos and then subscribing. And I think that kind of correlates with how much my viewership has grown. Of that, most of those people who subscribe from the one video don't watch that much, but like the people who went on to watch other videos and subscribe, then those people are watching me. If that makes sense.
The thing about your channel is it's consistent. At some point a video is going to come out, and a lot of times I find like smaller creators, and I look like, because sometimes I want to talk to them, exchange ideas, maybe collab at some point. But a lot of the times they just stop doing stuff. It's like 1-2 videos and then no video for half a year.
It's very easy to get demotivated when you're doing this, because
yeah,
some people see the views that they're not getting and thinking, oh man, what's even the point? And I think also when you don't care about the views, it's also easy to get demotivated, because you're just doing it for enjoyment then. And if you're not enjoying it, then what's the point in doing it? You know,
it has to be this weird middle ground, right? Like between not getting demotivated and not being motivated only by enjoyment, so that you don't get demotivated overall.
I think so. I think that's the best place to be. I mean,
how do you handle your channel? Like, how do you say, I set this amount of time to make a video, and I'm going to bring a video every week or something like that? How do you set rules for yourself?
I try to have it. I don't have like absolute set rules, but the way I try to have it is, so I try and release a video every at least one every 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I go slightly over that, but then it just changes. So right now my upload schedule is I'm uploading on Fridays at 9 o'clock, right?
Mm-hmm.
9 p.m. at my time. The few rules I have is the day after I've uploaded a video, I'm not doing any video stuff, because I have a tendency to just like, if I'm engaged in something, I'll just go full force at it, and everything else around me is just insignificant, right? If I don't have that day, I just end up doing video stuff 24/7, and it's like not healthy at all. Like I've got a bit of an obsessive personality when it comes to being into a hobby. I try to have like I try to give myself at least a couple of days for editing and a couple of days for like research and writing and recording audio. So I try and split it like 50-50 between those two things, because editing sometimes, like I enjoy editing, but sometimes get a little bit boring, and then I'll just like go off and do something else. So I've put more time towards editing than is required, because I just don't have like the control to just sit down and do it for like so long, and that's why like I do sometimes do 10-minute videos, but I'm perfectly content with doing a video that's like 4 minutes, because it's just works for me. Like in terms of creating the videos, it makes it a bit easier for me, and I don't think it necessarily makes the videos any worse. I mean, I think most of my best videos have not been 10 minutes. Most of them have been my favorite one for the longest time was one I did on a channel called That Is the Plan. It's Anthony Fantano's old channel.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite videos for the longest time, just because it flowed so well, and I was so happy with how I wrote it and how I did like just like a few small edits here and there, and it told the story of what was going on and what was happening really, really well. That was only like 4.5 minutes, so I doesn't bother me.
So especially in the indie scene, like if you, I see it this way, because I'm talking about the games reviewer perspective. If you're reviewing Borderlands 3, right, a game about like that goes like 60 hours probably. Like I didn't play it. I'm not gonna play it. We don't have to talk about Steam versus Epic, but whatever. So if you do a review that is like 5 minutes long, I'm going to question, what are you doing? Because reviewing this game, like just by trying to, like, if you want to, for me, a review has to explain what the game is, explain how everything works together, and like dissect a little bit. And if your review is 10 minutes long for a game that is 60 hours, I'm like, I question the validity of your review, because you cannot go through in 10 minutes. You cannot go through all of that, to mechanics, story, graphics, sound, how everything fits together. I assume in 10 minutes you cannot go through all the mechanics and all the parts of a game and doing actual review. And then
I agree. I agree. I know it's a bit of a off topic, but that's kind of one of the things I like about my Reviewing Everyone series. Well, they didn't feel like a minute or 2 minutes there was a lot. I think with probably about 50% of the channels, there was more I wanted to say, but I just couldn't.
I saw it more as an impression. Like, here's my impression. Here's my one-two punch about the channel, and then that was fine. Like it was called Reviewing Everyone, but I didn't saw it that way. So Maybe it was just my mind just rewrote the word review into impression.
I just thought it was a cool sounding title.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes the title is not what the content actually is, but it's a good title. But one of the next series I want to make, it will be called the Ballad of, also the Ballad of, and then the name of a specific human.
Oh, wow.
Because but doesn't make sense, because I'm not talking doing any musical analysis, about anything. It's just a cool sounding title that I found, and I know exactly what I want to do with it. But yeah, it's just a cool sounding name, but it has nothing to do with music.
Well, you have to be a little bit careful with these things about not what's the word? Like tricking people into clicking on your video.
Yeah, it's not about tricking people. It will be very clear that it's not a ballad. It's very clear it's not about music. But because I always like to do like subtitles, I do like 2 horizontal lines and then the subtitle of the video, and by that I'm mitigating the clickbait, so to speak. Because I don't like it. I never like to be clickbaited, and I don't like to clickbait people. That's why I generally don't do it.
It's difficult. I think these days people don't clickbait anywhere near as much as they used to, in terms of just straight up lying. But everyone does it now almost. Is that it's more of a extreme version of what's actually happening in the video, as opposed to a straight up lie. So it's like nearly everyone does tiny weeny clickbait.
Yeah, it's like a white lie. Like, I'm not really lying, it's just so that you click on my video.
I mean, in a way, kind of all my thumbnails are clickbait, because most of them are about my thoughts and opinions and me talking, and I'm never in the thumbnail. So
okay,
you have to be careful about straight up lying, but you also have to get people to click on your videos. People aren't going to click on your videos if they don't look as good as the video it's next to.
I think one of, like, for your content, I like content that is a little bit shorter, they can be consumed more easily. And one of the things that I found very difficult is getting people to watch 10 to 40 minute videos on stuff that they are maybe not super interested in.
I think when you're a small channel as well, you haven't got that, like,
the cloud
social confirmation of a big subscriber count. Then people just think, like, why would I invest an hour into a channel with 5 subscribers? And it's not fair, because subscriber count has no impact on someone's creative ability or how good the videos are. But it's just the way it is. Subscribers mean nothing these days. I mean, absolutely nothing. It's all about viewership. And even the bell, just like there should be like a bell count or something. That'd be more valuable than a subscriber count.
What you mentioned, it's always coming. I have to remind myself that quality does not mean success, because there's a lot of people that have stupidly bad quality and they're still super successful. Stone Grambling Productions, the one of the friend of Doug Walker, the without hair. Do you know the guy? It doesn't matter. He is probably doing YouTube for 8 years now, and he's actually a filmmaker. But I think it's part of his aesthetics. His mic sucks, and his camera is a potato. Or Shuon Head, for example, she has a potato camera. Quality does not mean success. You can have the best quality, whatever. It doesn't mean you're gonna be successful.
No.
So what you said, like, subscriber doesn't mean anything, because it could be that the person is not subscribed by anyone, but a million people watch it.
I think it's important, though, to distinguish between, like, quality and kind of like just how nice the video is. Like you were saying about how it's potato quality, and that stuff just doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't
Especially
matter.
right now on YouTube, there is like a weird kind of
retro
low quality videos that in terms of recording equipment and editing, but are still entertaining and interesting, or just anyway, they're doing well.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
matter.
something you can actually get away with right now, but I think more so than before. I think people always say about it exists within the sketch comedy community right now. So you look at like things like Gus Johnson and like I think it's like the Farabron brothers or something, like Jackson, like the Australian guys, right? And Churdleys and stuff. These guys like just literally just turn on a camera and just fucking
just
run
roll
around.
with it.
Yeah, I remember that they were talking. Cold Ones, Anything for Views, Max Mayfield, these guys, right? They were talking about they did some sketch comedy with the brothers, right? And they were saying about the recording situation was just so weird because they made so many mistakes and the guys was like, oh fuck it, we'll just take that. That's good enough, whatever. They just didn't care. But because it's funny and people enjoy it, like that's it, dude. It literally all that matters is you just entertain someone and you've got maybe like a demographic of people that could enjoy it. Yeah. That's all that matters. I mean, you can see it in any walk of life. You look at music, the best music is not the most popular films. The most popular films are not the best films.
Yeah.
Like that exists on YouTube. Like people don't care about quality. It's all about entertainment factor. And if I liked it, or if they liked it, I guess. Not if I liked it.
It will definitely be a barrier of entry for general audiences that look, oh, this is potato quality, I'm not going to watch it. But I would say for most people, especially people that grew up on YouTube, they don't care. I certainly don't care. I just think a lot of people connect the thing with quality equals success, or a lot of subscribers equals success, or a lot of subscribers equal quality. And like those things don't go together. Like those things are not connected. There's a variation. Like Touzel, like what a year is doing this thing right now, or longer. So Touzel,
I think it's 9 months. I think or something. Like
9 months. So
I'm not sure though.
Touzel should already have like 1 million subscribers. Not in my opinion. It's a fact. Like the guy is like, how can you do for a whole year every week a video that is consistently funny? It's almost impossible.
Well, I don't really understand what he was doing before I met him, because before I met him, he was on like 200 subscribers, and I only met him I think like 2-3 months ago. So like he's grown a lot since I met him, but before that, he just wasn't growing at all, and it seems insane to me because I don't think his old videos were really worse than what he's doing now. I think
of course the production quality got better. I mean, the scripts got a little bit tighter and the jokes became a little bit more funnier, but it's like it got consistently better, not consistently worse or plateaued. So I don't know.
What I mean is I don't know how, like, if he was promoting his videos differently, or a lot of growth on YouTube is very kind of like
promote on Reddit.
It multiplies. So like, you know, getting to your first 100 subscribers is as hard as getting to your first going from 100 to 1,000, and then like that's as hard as going from 1,000 to 10,000.
Yeah.
So I still think that he's going to be successful. I think it's just, as it is with 99.9% of things on YouTube, it's just going to take a bit of time for him. But I can see this is just turning into a fucking Touzel fan club talk right now. But fucking, I can see it even with like who likes him. Like, you see, look at his comments. Like, there's a channel that I absolutely love called Doplex, right?
Yeah.
And I've talked to Doplex and stuff. In fact, we're working on a video right now, me and him. But like, he never comments on my videos. He never comments on fucking
Doplex. If you're listening to this, comment on TKO's.
But no, I'm kidding. I'm joking, dude. But I see him in every single Touzel video. I see him in every single Touzel video, and the fact that like someone like Doplex is like advocating for Touzel, and then I look at who's advocating for Doplex. So there's like, I know that Willie Mack likes him. I think Wavy Web Surf likes Doplex. I'm like, you know, like everyone who he's not like a huge YouTuber, but most big YouTubers like Doplex.
Doplex, you can't advertise your shit.
so all I'm saying is like from that on its own makes me truly believe Touzel is gonna like fucking just explode. And I've been doing this small YouTuber thing for like probably like 9 months now, where I've just been kind of like looking at it and stuff. So I started doing it at the start of the year, and most of the time when I say someone's good, I seem to be pretty correct. So in terms of like everyone that I've said is good is kind of growing and doing pretty decent. And
well, I don't want to be I don't want to be able.
Most of them.
I don't want to do a biased thing, but once you reviewed me once and I changed a few things, I doubled the subscriber count. So
what, based off my suggestions?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
Well, dude, I'm just that smart. Big brain. Big brain broom.
Big brain TKO. All right. Last thing I want to say about Touzel, because this is gonna be like this episode is gonna be called Touzel Fan Club Meetup. But he's so nice. Maybe he's in real life an asshole, but on camera he's so fucking nice. He has a charisma to him. Like,
yeah, I'm almost certain
like
in real life he's gonna be an asshole.
People just like him.
Almost certain.
In real life, yeah, no, he could be. I don't know.
He does a good job of having an online, on-camera personality. I mean, I think it's the thing I struggle with the most is really just showing my true self, and not necessarily my true self, but like
on camera.
When people say personality, right? I show my personality in my videos, but I don't show like my quirks or like my general persona or just how I kind of am. Like, Touzel has like facial like expressions which are very kind of out there and like very entertaining, and he's like moving around and he's very joyful. That's not his personality. His personality is more than that, but like that's how he is as a person, and that's a thing that people like, and I think that's something that I struggle with. Because I mean, it's just the format that I use in terms of video essays, but it's still something that I struggle to get across.
But your internet persona or your video persona is like this very analytical, calm dude that is giving the facts and throwing out not dark, but dry jokes, which I have to laugh most of the time. So it's like the delivery is like this thing, analytical stuff, and then just like a fucking bomb in the middle of it, and like I don't know. The last video about the copyrights, like you providing the evidence, and then bomb here, and it threw me off. Like,
I do need to. I thought that was probably the best thing about the last video was kind of some of the comedic edits, and I think I need to use those a lot more. I think when I don't use, because I'm not very good at like dropping the jokes myself, but like I think when I use video edits, that's when it's the funniest. And when I don't use them, I think the videos can kind of drag a little bit and not be. I feel like they're always kind of informative and have value to them, but they're not always as entertaining as I would like them to be.
Man, so, I didn't know about the Irish dude that basically set the other dude on fire because he copied a book. Like, no, it's my copyright. Give it back.
Well, that's kind of the reason I made it though, is because I couldn't find a video on it at all. The only videos on it were like, it would be a video about St. Columba's entire life, and it would be like a short sentence footnote thing. It was like, well, this is kind of unique. I might as well make it. And I like making videos about copyright. You know, copyright it's a very important thing, and I think you're talking about how Google has a monopoly, and the online whole ecosystem almost. It kind of it's very important for life in general right now, and copyright has a huge impact on that. So
yes, it does.
I think it should be treated a lot more seriously than it is, I think.
And probably you broke anyone in their lifetimes broke at least one copyright without knowing it.
I think I break copyright every time I upload a video, pretty much. So
probably, yeah. I try. Yeah, the gaming scene is so weird because what we're doing, if we are using. Sorry, my German side coming out. If we record stuff and we show footage from the game, that's not our intellectual property, actually. Sure, we recorded it, but it's so strange because it's a gray zone. Companies usually don't mind if you use that footage, except for Nintendo. But it's not our footage, actually. We're recording something that is not ours. So it's so
well,
weird.
I just think it's I just think the whole kind of perception of what counts as copyright material needs to change.
Yep.
And that's the thing I hate so much about the whole Article 13, Article 17
Oh
thing.
god,
It's regression. It's going backwards. There's not one single. Well, I mean, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's no discussion on copy fraud at all, which is to me that's the number one concerning issue online. Is that you can just claim what you want.
Yep.
Like you if you upload this to your channel, I'm gonna claim it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. Well, there is something you can do about it, but do you want to go to court? Because that's the only way you're getting it off me.
Yeah.
Like that's so stupid.
I don't want to go to court.
Exactly. If you went to court for this, you'd probably win. But that's the whole point. Like, you shouldn't have to go to court over over your own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not like a fucking lawyer. I'm not smart when it comes to legal stuff. But I just think it's just so wrong the way it is at the moment.
And there's a difference.
It feels so backwards.
Yeah, and there's a difference between what is legal and what we use in daily life and what should be. Like, in Germany we have something called Urheberrecht, which means once you do something, you create something that has innovative level of it. So basically, you design a house, right? That it's not common. That's yours. That's your idea right now. You don't have to go to a government place and then say, "Oh, that's my thing. Please give me the paper that I did this." It's yours. Once you do it and you have proof for it, it's yours. It's your intellectual property. If someone takes that plan of the building and builds a house out of it, it's your plan. And if you try to change something from that house, you can say, no. I said that wall has to have this certain color. You can't change it because he designed the house.
That'd be a bit strange.
That's stupid, yes, but that's how it is.
Yeah, yes.
And like that's the difference. What is legal? What we do in real life? Because in real life, everybody would say to the engineer, "Fuck off! We're gonna paint the wall how we want." But and how it should be, like legal stuff, how it is, how we do it today, and how it should be. Like those are three different things, and most of the times, copyright feels like it was back in the days. It was done to protect people and give the people opportunity to make money with their intellectual property, and then it got abused by huge companies that just don't want to. They just saw a cash cow and just want to keep milking that cash cow forever.
Absolutely. It was made for authors of books.
Yep.
But now it is for publishers and big companies, and it's a bit backwards because I think now it's used for the very opposite purpose of what it was designed for, which was to protect creatives.
Yep.
It wasn't do that anymore.
Exactly. It was created to protect the creative process. Now it's used to hinder the creative process.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh god, it's so back. Like I said, it's so backwards. It's so backwards. And politicians that decide that have no clue. If you ask them what is copyright, they're gonna answer, "Well, I don't know, to steal people's money," something like that. Like, no, that's not what it is. But they don't know. Like, one of the things that annoys me, especially in Germany, because I know about that. The one guy asked our drugs and narcotics minister, asked her, why is marijuana illegal, even though it's proven to be less dangerous than cigarettes? And she said, "Well, that's how it is." And like, you are the drugs and narcotics minister. What the fuck are you doing in this position? If you don't know about the basic stuff, you are not legalizing. Oh god, it's so it's incompetence. It always comes back to the thing we mentioned at the beginning: incompetence. People being incompetent in powerful positions.
Yeah, It's hard to comment on because I think with your like it can be it's applied to all of it, but I think with your drug example, I think there's definitely something else going on there. You know, they probably don't care about its effects on people. It's probably more to do with money.
Yep.
And I think that's always this well, not always, but there always feels that there's that underlying drive of, well, these people are just doing it for money. They don't care about the moral implications or the objective negative outcomes of these things. And
kind of,
I think it's a little depressing, but it's just it's like that lady said, it's just the way it is.
Just the way it is, yeah.
Money drives.
I am glad that I can bring every guest to despair. That is my goal.
Yeah,
from now
job,
on,
man. You made me sad.
From now on, since the first episode, I bring every guest to despair. That is a very good. That's a talent, but
that should be your selling point of the show.
Yep, that's my selling point of the show.
Watch my guests cry. Yep, be sad.
That's my selling point from now on. Watch every guest fall into despair, and then. Now is the turning point of the episode. It's like, you know how the hero's journey, you know, the hero is going on his journey and learning stuff, and then at the low point, there's a rise, and we finally find the new stuff, you know.
So you're gonna cheer me up at the end, then?
Cheer you up, of course. Gonna cheer you up. So always cheer. I'm a cheerful person, yeah. So
well, let's do it then.
Yeah, let's do it. What is your drive behind the YouTube channel? Because I think every YouTube channel has a mission statement. Mine was from the beginning, bring attention to indie games and, generally speaking, talking about weird shit in the industry. What is your mission statement?
You're gonna hate this. I mean, it's changed over time, but
of course it can.
To start with, okay, have you ever heard of a video game called League of Legends?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I've probably played that game a bit too much, man. And I've had like YouTube. I've been into YouTube in the past. Just like I'd do something for a couple of months and then just stop for whatever. But at the start of this year, I was just like, dude, this isn't going anywhere. Like, I can't get to a position where I could stream professionally or play professionally. That's kind of what I wanted to do. I was hoping one day I'd be good enough to play professionally because I was quite good. I was quite good, but I wasn't good enough. Okay. So I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna find something else to do so I don't play League 24/7. And I was like, okay, make videos, and you can see at the start of my channel, there's just no direction whatsoever. I'm making the most random crap. I made a video called Siri discusses her favorite videos. Her favorite music, sorry. So I was just asking, like, what's the best Red Hot Chili Peppers album? And she'd give an answer. It'd be like, oh, okay, great. So it's not really like, these weren't very good videos.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah, but then I did a video discussing the YouTube startup subreddit, and I was just like, no one ever watches any other people's videos, despite the fact that some of these channels are pretty good. And then I discussed like a couple channels that were good, and people responded to it quite well. Like, people seemed to like it, and people watched the whole thing and stuff. So I was like, I'll just do some more of this. I'll find some other channels that I like, and I think my channel kind of turned into like discussing YouTubers, because I do like the small YouTubers and stuff, but I like all types of YouTubers, and I think you can kind of see that from my channel. You know, one video I'm talking about like Malixy's TV, and the next one I'm talking about JonTron, and it's like, I think that's just the channel, really. I think it's just to kind of shed light on channels that I like and channels I think are good, to discuss topics I think are interesting. You know, at the end of the day, it's just a channel for me to kind of have a more healthier life, because I think when I left uni, I probably wasn't in the best place mentally, and League did not help with that. And YouTube, honestly, YouTube has been probably the best thing I've had in my life in so long, dude. It's so like mentally freeing to just be able to say, like, okay, I'm going to research and learn about something I'm interested in, make a video about it, share it with the world, and talk to people about something that they're interested in, that I'm also interested in. So, you know, you can find a way to have a discussion with people that you couldn't do before. And it's good for me as well, because I live like literally in the middle of nowhere. So the channel's for me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's for me to just have a better quality life
Yeah.
But it's good that I can it feels like I've been able to help people grow a little bit on their channels. I've been able to give people advice like I've been making YouTube videos on and off for like 10 years, but it's like so many random kind of niches. I started making tomahawk montages for Black Ops, which is so opposite to what I do now. But through all of that, I've always kind of been interested in learning about SEO and growing, and I've watched so much, just an absurd number of YouTube videos that I just feel like I have all this knowledge in my brain, which is useless in 99% of cases, but is useful in this channel.
Yeah.
So there you go. Wow. That's my massive answer to your little question.
That's a good answer. No, that's a good. I love when guests just go off on stuff and talk about all random stuff that just touches the question. I'm talkative person. I like to talk to people, and when guests can share their little story of their little universe, I love it. I fucking love it. And it's so interesting that you mentioned like the whole it's for you and to keep yourself sane and keep you from doing other stuff at the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
it seems to be a common thing around YouTubers that they use their frustration or their to create stuff. And for me, it's the same thing. Like, I use YouTube to have an outlet for not sitting around all day and doing nothing, but actually creating something. So I basically have the same, the same drive as well. Of course, I have a mission statement because I thought about all of this. But one of the main driving forces, I'm going to do this because I don't want to sit all day around and do nothing. So, yeah. Oh, that's great.
I mean, it's not even that, dude. Like, I still play a couple video games. I play like Mordhau, Tanner Salem occasionally. I play some party games with my mates like Jackbox and stuff. But it was literally just to get away from League of Legends because it was not good for me mentally. It was just like being good at that game is horrible. Yep. It's just like you have to spend like at least 8 hours a day to keep up with everyone else. And so for me, my drive in that game was I was trying to be the best in the world at the character that I played.
Yeah. Who did you play? Who did you play?
I played top laners, so I played like Garen, Darius, Olaf, Mundo. I used to read like Trundle, Sion, just like Chad champions, just like I'm gonna run you down and kill.
Because
there's so many characters now which are like super high mechanics and much more interesting in terms of like more interesting in terms of the mechanics, right? But these champions, just like the role that they have and like how they end up playing outside the mechanics. So it's like you're just running people down, poor defenseless, squishy people just getting absolutely massacred by people with giant axes and swords.
Yeah.
It's great. It's just, what more could you want? Like, it's just, I think the champion that represents me the most is Trundle.
Trundle.
Like, just a big idiot with a club. That is what I was, but I was good at it and it was fun.
It's funny that you mention it because I played for years League of Legends, but I stopped because I don't know. I don't even know why I stopped. I think it was mainly frustration. But I was thinking about doing something that is truly unique. I think I have searched for it. No one has done it. Doing OG League of Legends review. The OG League of Legends. Like the first patch is 1 point whatever. Because none of that exists. And then the idea for the video was at the end, I'm coming to the conclusion. And then every time I try to finish the video, the video game updates itself, and I'm like, no wait, and like and at the end I go down all the champions like, no, now I have 120 champions, oh my god, and they just think the whole thing's explode because that was
I think you should make that.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt at the end. I was like, this is way too much. I started with like a few champions, like 70 or something like that, and now we have champions that do the same thing but are called differently, and now you have champions that one hit kill people. Like, what the fuck is going on here? And
Yeah.
it was
I mean, we
mainly,
could talk about the problems with the game all day.
yeah, mainly
Like, it's just,
yeah, it was
it's not.
frustration. But it was a good game. I have to say, it was a good game. It took away a lot of my lifetime, but I'm glad that I played it. I was fine.
Same. It's just not a game for me anymore.
Exactly.
Like they've clearly had in the last 2 or 3 years, they've had a complete shift in their concept of what makes a good champion, and they will never make a champion for me again ever. So, like, what's the point of playing? They don't want the champions that I play to be good. And that's fine, because I think most players would not want the champions that I play to be good. I mean, can you imagine if like a game was just like every position was a bruiser who had like no mechanics, and it's like, no. But I just find that the most interesting parts of the game is like is being the best at things outside of mechanics.
Yeah.
So like, you know, rotations and macro and just like just knowledge. I feel like a knowledgeable player is always more interesting than a mechanical one, in my opinion. So,
I mean, it's great to be good at both, but like the one subsumes the other. Of course, if someone knows about a lot of I don't want to go too deep into League of Legends, because man, it triggers less nostalgia for me. Like, I want to play this game again, and I know if I download the game and I play one round, like, oh, I know why I stopped.
Yeah. No, I've been playing it again recently, like the last week or two, and I've just like every time I'm like, this is why the fuck am I playing this stupid game?
Exactly.
It's so bad.
Oh,
But no, I know exactly why I play it. I play it because my mates play it.
Ah, okay.
Like there's a guy that
everything with friends is better. Like,
well, no, there's probably like two guys. There's two guys that I like playing video games with more than anyone else, and one of them is playing exclusively League at the moment, and just like, I can have fun playing League with him, and it's great, and I love it. But as soon as he's not on and I'm playing on my own, I'm just like, this game is so shit. It's so shit. And like I've been smurfing in ranked recently just because I can't play on my main at the MMR that it's at.
Yeah.
And I'll just be like crushing people, like having absurd scores, and I'm bored and I'm not enjoying it. And I know the other team's not enjoying it because their top lane is like 0-10. It's like, well, he's getting flamed. He's probably going to uninstall. I've done that to him, and like, this is crap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I need to get away from it again. I will put my head in videos.
I think I will do that video. Like, it is an idea that I had from the beginning, for the inception of the video, and I have done scripts before, but none of those scripts I'm happy with, so I end up throwing them away. Do you have situations like that? You write a script down and you get an idea and you revise the whole thing, and then you record it, and then you're like, I don't want to do this, and you throw it away.
No.
Okay.
All my videos are perfect. No, joking. No, I mean, occasionally I feel like that a little bit. I think it mostly happens where I think maybe I could develop a point a little bit more, but I do have this very strong opinion that when you're new and when you're small, you should just put things out.
Yeah.
And see how people respond, and if it's an overly negative thing that you didn't do what you were thinking about, then you've learned that that's actually important, and you need to keep that in mind. The video process for me right now, I still feel like I'm learning. I still don't feel like I'm really that good. I feel like I'm kind of, I'd give myself like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Like, I'm not awful, but I'm not great. And I think, but putting out videos that aren't perfect is probably what I learn from the most.
I think if you stop learning, if you say, oh, I'm great, I'm just going to keep this quality, and you do not learn something from your last video or your last edit or whatever, then you're probably doing something wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I try to do that. I try and learn one new edit per video.
Yeah.
And that was kind of one of the reasons I want, again, there were so many reasons why I wanted to make it, but the last video I did on the copyright, it was like, that I can't use B-roll for that because everything's from like 500 AD.
Yeah.
So it was like an editing challenge almost.
Yeah, pan and zoom and all this stuff, and good transitions and all this good stuff. Yeah, I think I've been doing this for almost a year. It's coming up a year, and like, if you compare my first video to my last video, the first video still holds up, I think, because I did pour more time in it, but they have such a gigantic difference between the first and the last one. It's so different. And if I can say that for every single video I make, like this video is better than the last one, then I'm happy. When I can't say that, I know I did something wrong, like really wrong. That's my measurement. I would like to measure it against, for example, other people that do similar stuff, but that I think would be a little bit detrimental. And there's no one that, like, one of the reviews I did recently was Honeycam Studio. There's not even a review for that. Like, nobody.
So you got to kind of do a lot more for yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, it's like the first review someone made on YouTube, and that game is like 2 years old. Like, what is going on? So yeah, but like I said, improving every time. That's.
I'm kind of in a position right now. I made a decision after finishing the Reviewing Everyone series that I wanted to put out a lot of videos that were quite similar, just because if one of them did well, then there's a lot of videos that they can go through and think, oh, well, I enjoyed this one and I also enjoyed the other one, and that'll make them want to subscribe, right? But as a general rule of thumb, you should be trying to improve every single time. And I am trying to do that through the editing, but not much more than that. Although, hopefully my next video or the next one after that will be something I've not done before, and it won't be really challenging myself, but it's more of a challenge outside of the video making process. And I won't say anything more than that, but
all right.
But it's not super exciting, but it's just something I've not done before, so I wanted to give it a try.
Okay. So I think it's time to conclude the hero's journey. Once
I'm really happy now.
You fell into misery. You came back out of the pit. We're happy now, and now you must have learned something. Correct? Am I right? So one of the things I always like the guests to express or say or answer is the question, or the do you have any or if you have 10 of those, just spill them out. If you have any advice for people that are starting out right now as YouTubers, or any other type of content creation, can be video games, whatever. Do you have any advice for all of those people?
Oh man, there's so much you could say.
Just go for it. Just talk about it a half hour long. I'm fine. Let's just go. Just go.
I think before anything, I think I would say that there isn't a definitive answer to anything on YouTube.
Exactly.
That you have to find your own way. You have to find what works best for you. You have to find what works best for your content, your channel. And if someone tells you this is how you do it, this is what you need to do, it's not a fact. Nothing is a fact. But there are many things that you should be taking on board. There is lots of things that people would perceive as the knowledge of YouTube. And it is good to at least know these things, at least to know how to manipulate them to your advantage. So beyond anything else, I would advise you to watch some channels that can help you do YouTube correctly. So people like Nick Nimmin, Roberto Blake, Alan Spicer, channels that kind of will discuss like what to do in terms of uploading your videos, editing your videos, what topics you should go for, just a bunch of random stuff. Anything you could ever want to know about YouTube. There are YouTube channels out there for learning that stuff. For me, I always say, if you're worried about starting, just make anything. Any videos. That's how I got started, and now I had no identity, and now I feel like I have like a pretty decent identity, like not completely set in stone, but like it's there-ish, right? So just go for it. Just get started. Don't worry about the quality of your recording or anything along those lines, your editing skills. When you make videos, it will come with time. Like, when you get all this recording equipment that you want, all this stuff that you think you need, if you've not practiced, you will be shit. And then none of that stuff will matter. So just get practicing, get making stuff. And if you're not sure what you want to make stuff on, just do stuff that you're interested in. I mean, everyone has a vague interest in something, and YouTube's massive. YouTube is so huge that there is an audience for everyone, in my opinion. Like, there might only be like 100 people for some if your content's really shit. But the battle of YouTube is not having the correct content. It's about trying to find the audience that would enjoy your content, trying to get the right people to see your videos. That is the real battle of YouTube, and therefore you shouldn't worry about what you're making, because eventually people will enjoy it, and that might be in 2 videos with that fucking weird snake van lady. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
That's fucking weird, right? But that could take 10 years. But like, that doesn't. The quality of your videos don't matter. It's more. Obviously it does matter. It does matter, but not in terms of getting those viewers that you want. Because I think a lot of people get lost in kind of seeing that they've got like 50 views or something and thinking, oh man, my videos suck. It's like, no, your views have nothing to do with how good your video is. There can be so many other variables that could be affecting how many views your video gets, and you should just be be content with making videos to the best of your ability. And one of the best things about doing YouTube is that you can find out if the video making process and the whole kind of just having a thing that you've made for yourself, if that's right for you. Because it's not for everyone. I think a lot of people really like the idea of being a YouTuber and being able to make videos for a living, but are they okay with making videos as a hobby? Like, do you think to yourself, well, man, I could live the rest of my life having a shit job and then coming home and making videos in my spare time? Is that a life you could live? Because to be honest, to me, that doesn't sound fantastic, but it also sounds good enough. That sounds good enough to me. I could do that and be content, because this gives me value in my life. It gives me a bit of just something to hold on to. Like,
yeah,
the videos that I make are not that like insanely amazing. They're not like gonna blow you away, but it gives me it's just a tool for me to be happier. And I think when I left education, I didn't have that anymore. And of course, there's so many tools for humans to do that. You can just fucking Google any topic you want and learn.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I didn't do that. And videos let me do that. And you can do that too with your videos. Or you can just upload stupid fucking 4-hour gameplay of Minecraft. You can do whatever you want. Because that's the beauty of YouTube. You can just... anything can go up there, apart from like porn or something terrible.
Hey,
but
if you want
most
to
things can
porn,
go
go to Pornhub.
Yeah, just... I don't know, man. There's so much I could say.
Go on.
I think
if you have more stuff, just share. Like, I think that's important. Yeah. I might cut that into a single thingy just for people to watch, because I think that's important. You say talking a lot about the other stuff that people don't think about. Are you willing to put in the hours to make this video? A lot of people like the idea of being a YouTuber, but how much time goes into a video? I need between 20 to 30 hours for every one of my videos, except for the podcast. Except for the podcast.
Grind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to put in the grind? So I definitely understand that message. The other thing was, is that what you want as a purpose? Like, I think it's a lot of what you said here is very insightful. I think that word is misused a lot, but it is insightful because it's coming from a person that already did go through the grind and is still going through the grind. So yeah.
I still feel like I'm at the beginning.
Everyone is at the beginning.
Still do. Yeah, I still feel like I've got so much to learn. I mean, again, I've not been going for a year on this particular YouTube journey, and this is by far the longest I've been doing a channel. I've done everything that I've done has been on this YouTube channel that I have now, but it's been, videos have been uploaded and deleted, and I've got like a couple of privated videos from like 10 years ago and stuff like that. And you just, everything you do kind of helps, A lot of my comedic edits now, the last thing that I did on my channel was Overwatch memes. I just did Overwatch memes just for fun, right? And people seem to really like them. They always got like a couple thousand views, so I was like, oh fuck it, I'll do this, right? But a lot of the things that I did in that apply to the comedic edits that I do now within my videos, and I've done some memes at the start of this year as well, and like that was useful for me. And before that, I did like a music channel where I had to communicate with other creators, and that helped me with having confidence to talk to other small creators now. I think a lot of small creators do talk to one another, but I think I do probably network a little bit more than most. I mean, especially when I was doing the small YouTubers you should watch series. I mean, because I have to get permission from people to discuss them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I had to contact them and say, hey, man, can I just use your footage and stuff? And like, you know, that gives me the confidence to just kind of message someone that I don't know and be like, hey, dude, fuck it, you know.
Very
And
nice.
even when I first started the Black Ops montages, I used Sony Vegas for that, and I still use Sony Vegas. So technically, I've been using Sony Vegas for 10 years.
Wow.
So I mean, you wouldn't know it from my fucking videos, but I mean,
I would say that. I mean,
that's not 10 years. That's not. I mean, they look decent, but
Well,
they're not 10 years worthy. 10 years is like, I don't know. You should be on
Galaxy
like another
Brain,
level.
Galaxy Brain,
Yeah,
editing.
just like knowing everything. But that's what I'm saying, man. You never know what's going to lead to what on YouTube, and it's all anything you do on YouTube is useful in some regard.
Yeah.
So I mean, even like a lot of people get upset when their videos don't do very well, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, say you got like fucking 10 views on a 200 subscriber channel,
Okay.
right? You might be upset,
Okay.
right? But sorry, go on.
Here's a PSA for people that might be watching this and are small. You're not gonna get any views ever in the beginning. Nobody's gonna do that. Your first video is not gonna get 1,000 views. Do you know how many people 1,000 people are? That's a lot of people. 100 people.
If 1,000 people showed up to your film screening, you'd be pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, like 1,000 people is a lot of people. Just be aware how big 1,000 is. Yes, I know PewDiePie get 1 million or 400,000 every video, but that's PewDiePie.
Not realistic.
He's doing this for a decade now. Are you doing, like, after a decade, if you still get 1 view per video, then we can talk about it. But if that's not the case, then wait, be consistent, do your stuff, and then after a year or so, we can look back at your channel and see what can you actually improve. But before that, calm yourself, calm your titties.
Just make videos and learn for the first year.
Yep.
Something along those lines. The point I was trying to make, it was more the fact that even though a video doesn't do well, it still has a value for your channel.
Yes, of course.
So as I was saying to you before about how people typically subscribe after watching a couple videos, right? Yep. That could be the video that makes them subscribe, right?
Yep.
It also kind of, if it doesn't do well, but it was a good video in terms of maybe the small amount of feedback you got was good, then you can look at, like, was the SEO wrong? Was the thumbnail wrong?
Yep.
What about this video stopped it from doing well? And then you're not going to do that in the future. And then you've learned, and then your next videos are better. And you've just got to have that confidence to say, hey, sometimes I'm going to put something out that's complete dog shit. And that's a good thing. That's actually a good thing. So, I can see this in the reverse of good creators, where they'll be too critical of themselves.
Yes.
And it's not good for them emotionally, but it's good for them in terms of creating better content. And I try and, because there's a lot of people that I talk to, right? And I try and reassure them, because a lot of the times when they think their stuff's bad, it's actually not that bad at all.
Yes.
I mean, it like, there'll usually be like one thing that I'll identify and be like, okay, maybe you could improve in this point, and that's why maybe it's not done so well. And then they'll be like, oh, well, it's just complete shit. It's like, no, dude, just like, there's one guy that I've talked to, and I won't say what his name is, but the issue with he had a video not do very well.
It was the boy John.
In my opinion, no, no, it wasn't the boy John. No, but the guy, he said, like, the video was it was a comedy video, and the concept of the video was very funny. The joke was really funny. The main reason that I thought it didn't go down very well was because of the camera angle that was used didn't fully portray visually the joke, because it was like a visual joke.
Ah, okay.
But to him, it's like the whole video shit. And he'll say to his viewers, like, "Oh my god, please don't let me make another video like this again." It's like, no, dude, that's wrong on so many levels. Yes. You're just being an idiot, and it annoys me. I'm like, fucking hell. I mean, I don't know, but these things go on a spectrum. You got to find something you got to find yourself in the middle, where you're rational enough to be like, okay, this stuff was bad, and I can improve it in the future. But but also not be too overly critical. Where you're like, oh, I'm shit.
Yep.
So
I mean, like you're a little bit longer on the grind, but like from what I've seen, I have videos that have like 20 views, and I have a video that has 1K views. It's like, it doesn't make any.
Are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like every one of those videos I like, and I think if I did the mission I had was improve on every video, and I did, and that's, I think, the first step. And until I reach something like at 1K subscribers or 1K subscribers, they're just that. Improve with every video. Build a catalog. Do your research on SEO. Do your research on editing. Do your research on audio design, audio engineering, and so on. And then after you reach 1K, we can start talking about in between. You have to learn how to advertise your stuff, put it on the subreddits, try to build your Twitter on the other side, try to make a Discord on the side, and so and then after that we can talk about the other stuff. But before that, it's just like, just start out, just do your stuff, just build your own.
Have some fun.
Just have some fun, and then after you reach a decent amount of knowledge and followership, then we can start talking about anything else. But before that, calm your titties, do what you want, and try to improve on every video. That's my summarization of the whole thing. That's from my perspective.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that making videos is what you actually just want to do.
Yep.
Before anything else. But there's a lot.
Yeah. So since we're talking about the videos, let's talk about your videos.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. So now it's your time. Now you have it's your floor. You can shill your stuff. Shill everything you have. Shill your Instagram, your Twitter, everything. Two links will be in the description. And yeah, just shill everything. Just tell the people what should they do, what should they expect, everything.
Well, wow. Okay. So first thing, obviously, check out my YouTube channel, BoomerangTKO. It's just amazing. You'll love it.
Yes.
The main thing I use outside of that is Twitter. That's just BoomerangTKO at the moment. I think at the moment I'm called the Boomerang for Boy John, the army.
Exactly.
That's where I do most of my communication with my fans and talk about my videos and random stuff that's going on. I have a Discord, which is doing all right actually. I'm pretty pleased with how many people join that. So if you want to talk to me and just if you want to have a conversation with me, Discord's probably the best place to do it. Especially just DM me on Discord or talk to me in general. Beyond that, those are probably the three big main ones. I don't use my Instagram very much, so
very nice.
No, those are probably the three main ones.
Very, very nice. So if you have anything else, I would end here and tell the people goodbye. Do you have anything to say?
Subscribe to Touzel.
Subscribe to Touzel.
This is Touzel Fan Club.
Exactly. Touzel Fan Club Meetup. Yeah. We bring up next time. We will bring up Touzel. I hope so. I'm trying to get in contact with him. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves and have a nice day. Bye bye.